What's going on, everyone? Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about Bbig stock, Vinco Ventures. Once again, Friday was an interesting day. It was a red day, unfortunately, but a lot of things were developing behind the scenes in the terms of the Ortex data, as well as some unusual whales data, which is very, very important to be going over here. So I wanted to bring you guys an update. Last video of the day. Let's make it the best. Drop a like on the video if you guys enjoy this content. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Without further ado, my friends, let's get right into it. All right, so here we have Market Cipher weekly Heikin-Ashi candles. As you guys can see, we are still healthy. All I'm really focused on in the weekly candle is the yellow right here, which is the VWAP pointing up. All right, so we're still in an uptrend. We're also still on this negative momentum wave. Things are still good. We are still oversold on the weekly, meaning that there is definitely some room to continue this bullish trend. We also closed the week with a green Heikin-Ashi candle, which means that last week was a bullish week. Going into the daily chart right here, you guys can see we did get a red dot. So yeah, the selling pressure on Friday did in fact print us a red dot. We could, however, go from the red dot to a green dot like we did last time the daily got the red dot. Anything is really on the table. The daily chart honestly is not telling me too much, but the red money flow right here, so you see this red right there, that money flow is about to cross over, meaning that we'll get green money flow, meaning that it's easier to break through resistance points. So that is what's good with green money flow. It's easier to break out of previous resistance points and move on to the next level. Moving into the 4-hour chart, we are definitely a bit oversold here. So at any point within Tuesday or Wednesday next week, I do think we could get a nice bounce and continue to rally. Something that is important is that we did break this trend line, which is why I think we sold off a little bit more. So because of that, it might be a short-term risk. Moving into the hourly charts, we are getting some bullish divergence here. So if we line up these two green dots, boom, there is an upward sloping line. If we connect the price action as well, boom, boom, downward sloping line means that there's bullish divergence here, means that it could be a reversal coming soon. So that is what I'm seeing there on Market Cipher. If you want to check out Market Cipher yourself, there is a link below, but I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Moomoo. So Moomoo is a stock investing brokerage, licensed FINRA broker, does absolutely zero, nunca, nada payment for order flow whatsoever, and an amazing brokerage promotion. All you got to do, deposit $1 to get up to $7,000 in free stock. Absolute no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Also, you can get an extra share of AMC if you deposit $100 on their platform. But honestly, I think this is the best. You can get Apple stock, Google stock, Amazon. I've seen someone get Apple before. It's a great deal. All you got to do is click the link in the description below or pin comment section. Make an account, deposit $1. So connect the bank account, deposit $1. Boom, you're good to go. Anyways, let's get right back into the rest of the video. Links for that are below. Moving into the short squeeze leaderboard, Bbig got demoted all the way down to number 23. Now, a lot of things did change in terms of the actual short interest data, so that could be potentially why it is happening, but it is still right there on the threshold list as marked by the T. Moving into Ortex's data, they're not showing what the cost to borrow is. They're not showing any of this stuff right here. But some interesting stuff did occur. Right here on Friday, it did say that about 14.62 million shares were returned, as well as 7.42 million shares newly put on loan. This is the highest that we've seen in a long time for Bbig. Previously, there was an excess of shares on loan than the current short interest, meaning that someone might have been putting shares on loan and not actually shorting. Well, now we're seeing that the shares on loan is actually less than the estimated short interest. This could potentially put pressure on shorts. It would mean that the cost to borrow would go up a lot, but it's also, we don't have that actual FINRA number, so we don't know what the actual short interest is. So once we get that number from FINRA, it should open us up to more clarity in this whole situation. But what happened on Friday was super interesting. It also took down the utilization to 98.57. So I'll be looking into that, but that is something to definitely take note of. Looking at Fintel, there's about 450,000 shares available to be shorted. It looks like there's a bit more right there. The borrow rate came down 5 hours ago. They reported at 80% cost to borrow right there. It saw a high of 102 on 217. The short volume ratio has been over 50 the past few days, as the stock has been trending down the past few days. And then we saw the 2 days before that, it was under 30 when it was trending up. So it's definitely being influenced by this short volume. I mean, we got an uptrend right here when the short volume was down. And now that the short volume is up, we have a downtrend. So there's clearly some correlation there. We did go over the failure to delivers in the last video, so I won't be touching up on that. But it looks like Fintel still only has it. Oh, no, they've updated it. So anyways, let's get into the whale options flow. You can see it right here. It was pretty bullish on Friday. Boom, 70%. But there was a lot more action on the bid side. And if we pull up the charts right here, you guys can see there was 75% of the volume on the bid side. And this was because of these extremely large cross trades, which were puts. Cross trades don't always indicate a directional directional sentiment in the trade, but it could show that a move is to come shortly in the stock. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for. But if we're just looking at single leg strategies only, it was definitely more calls than puts on Friday. So whales are more so going long than short on BBIG stock right now. The historical flow again was at a pretty low point. It's better to be buying options when BBIG call option volume is at a low point. So definitely be keep in mind for that. When it does spike up, that might be a time to perhaps get out of those call options. Moving into the biggest option trades of today, again, most of them were selling of put options on Friday for 750,000 here, 611,000 here. The third highest was 26,000. Those were cross trades. This was a normal trade. This was part of a multi-leg strategy right here as well. Perhaps they're just getting rid of their puts. Maybe they bought them and they're just trying to get rid of them because they think BBIG will go up from this point. The rest of them were call options, pretty decently low premium. The dark pool volume was not too high on Friday, which is interesting considering what happened on Friday. I mean, so many returned in new shares right there. Also, the max pain, we have to be looking at the next options expirations here. 318 is at 4. 225 with the next week is at 3.5, would show some upside. However, 218 it was at 4 and we expired at 318 on Friday. So max pain was not necessarily the best indicator for deciding where BBIG stock price would go. Now we have a little bit less gamma exposure as well, as a lot of those contracts, all of those contracts from February 18th have now expired, which brings down the net gamma because there's less open interest in those contracts. And a lot of them did expire out of the money, meaning that that money essentially was wasted, right? And that's the big issue, right? We saw it in the January expiration. We saw it in this expiration. These contracts do exist. They add gamma pressure. They could create tons of volatility, but at the end of the day, they usually end up expiring worthless. And if we want a big short squeeze, obviously you shouldn't be putting it into call options. I still do it. I do it to speculate. Sue me. But as long as the speculation on call options continue to happen and continue to expire worthless, that's just going to be less money for retail to put towards squeezing this thing. Anyways, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, drop a like if you guys did. Subscribe for more content. Check out Moomoo if you want up to $7,000 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform. You can find that link in the description or pinned comment section. And if you want all of my buy and sell alerts, as well as a private Discord where I post exclusive due diligence that will never make its way to YouTube or Twitter, you can find that using the first link in the description for Hootmoney trade alerts. Anyways, that's about it, my friends. BBIG, let's get it, baby. See you guys later.